What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Michelle, and we are discussing Outlander Season 7, Episode 14. You didn't get used to it?
Yes,
How you
yes, yes.
feeling, Michelle?
I'm pretty happy in parts and upset in others.
Okay.
I'm very upset with Jamie. I'm still upset with
You
Jamie.
still upset with him?
Yeah, because what didn't help in this episode is when we see the first time we see Jamie in the episode, he handled a chandelier in Lord John Gray's home. I'm like, what the fuck? Can y'all not go look for him? Urgency. We don't know if he's alive or dead. I don't come on. And then them having this dinner with everyone there, yeah, it's cool and all, but you need to go be looking for your friend. You are so nonchalant. I'm gonna say this again. With anything, this man been taking care of your son. He saved you multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
He can have one strike, but you act like you don't care. I am so bothered by that. I am so bothered. Okay, I understand if he needed time to grieve the first two episodes from finding out his wife
Mm-hmm.
got married and had sex with a man who don't even want her.
Right.
And she don't want him. And you know that, dude. I'm mad. I'm mad he just popped up at your house. You didn't even go looking for him.
Yeah.
Okay. So that part I'm mad. So every time Jamie was on the screen, I was like, I really don't care for you right now. I'm a little upset.
Oh, yeah. I understand. But
I'm a little
I
upset.
will say this too, kind of take up for Jamie a little bit. It's not like he can just up and leave right now. Like he's literally, if he were to leave right now, he would get in trouble. He would get in trouble.
I do understand that, but he not even trying to investigate. Send Ian to go do some spying or something to
Because
find.
Ian is also part of this army.
I know, but he can say, Ian, when you on your way home, go see if anyone has seen or heard about a man with an eye patch. It can't be too difficult.
Yeah, but you know what? One, well,
You are trying to make excuses for him.
no, I'm not making
He's smiling and
excuses.
laughing, hanging a chandelier. I was done. I was done.
Well, at least he was
Can,
trying to
but
repair the man's house.
it doesn't matter. My thing is, even if you couldn't leave, you can be talking to Claire like, I'm concerned. We don't know where he is. Oh, what I did. I hope he's alive.
Jamie is one to hold a grudge.
So for me, I was like, I want the Lord John Gray show.
Oh,
So
oh,
with
you
his
big
stepbrother,
man.
look, with his stepbrother and all, I was like, okay, I'm ready to hear some stories. I want some backstories.
That's why you need to read the book.
I would say I want some tea here.
Yeah, and they're definitely look. Claire was picking up on that too. She was looking like personal business. Yeah, he's my stepbrother. Was my stepbrother. Claire was like, okay, if that's what you want.
Okay. He was like, why you doing this? Beautiful eyes. I say, well, pump the brakes. One eye messed up though. Who touched you?
Who hurt you? A
A
man who had
man
the
who
right to
can't.
touch me.
And
Wow.
I'm thinking, he don't care about you either. But he couldn't even bother to even ask around for you. Okay. I'm gonna let it go.
You are big mad about that.
I am. I just because normally I just
I
feel like he
know.
wouldn't have done that. Like
Jamie holds a grudge when
he
it
would
comes
be
to Miss
mad
Claire.
though. He would be mad though, but he would be but that motherfucker
I know.
helped save Claire
I know.
too.
I know. I know.
See, they making me big mad. I'm cursing up here
I know.
because I can't.
And that's the crazy thing because we talked about this with the episode. Like, does Jamie even realize that Claire was about to be arrested and hanged as a spy? Because that never came out in the conversation that they aired. So it's kind of
Yes.
like,
So
does he
Claire
know?
need to tell him. And then we questioning, we gonna give him to George Washington. You giving him to no one. You let him escape. He will let you escape. I am still confused about what we're talking
Excuse
about.
me, let me interrupt you. Has let you escape.
I know.
Has
I
let you
know.
escape.
And we're
So
gonna
I
let him
get
be
it. I get it.
And
I
I'm like,
do.
why we having this conversation about turning him in and him being a prisoner? I'm confused.
I kind of feel like I don't think Jamie would have actually turned him in. I think he was just saying that to kind of be like hard, like, yeah, I'm still pissed off at you. Like, yeah, I would consider turning you in, but I don't want them to hang you as a spy. Dude, like you said, he's been a part of not one, but two militias at this point, and he's had to take the oath.
And he
So
said it was your fault. He's like, you're the one who left me.
right, like what
What
the
you
devil
think I'm
were
going
you
to?
thinking? I was thinking somebody was gonna come get me
Yeah.
because you left me there. So I believe me, I get it.
The
I
only saving grace was Jamie did look like, oh, when he looked at him, oh shoot, I
like
like
I
F
did
him
that.
up. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
because
that
that
was the
eye
only
prosthetic
thing.
was horrible.
What can you do something clear with him? That was the only time I saw that he was like, ooh, my
Did you
bad.
see how squicked out he was when Claire had to take the eyeball in her hands? And he was just like, you would think that he was the one being hurt. But yeah, this is what you did, Jamie. So yeah, face it. Face it. Because this is what you did. But like I
Hmm.
said, he holds a grudge and he holds
Yeah,
one, especially when it comes to Claire. And like I said, I think if it had been anybody else, he wouldn't be as mad. But it's the fact that it was his best friend, the father,
I get
the
that,
other father of his child.
but
It
you
was just
you
too close for him.
you had 2 episodes,
I
and by
know.
this third episode, you can send, I don't know, the other lady of the house to go be looking around. Something
Girl,
help
okay. He could have sent
help
Miss
me.
Fig, because let me tell you, Mrs. Fig, I think
Right.
she was my favorite character in this episode because when that soldier came through, the door was looking around the house and she's like, excuse me, who are you? And she tells Jamie, she said, well, maybe he'll give you some answers because he walked past me like I wasn't even here. Mrs. Fig was not having any of that. She was like, I don't give a good goddamn if I'm a black slave, a black servant, black whatever. You're going to show me some respect in this house. And when the dude was like, yeah, we're going to have the dinner here tonight. She said, oh, I hope you can wear an apron because I
Yeah, you
got one
going
for
to.
you. You're going to come help me. And he was just looking at her like, I think if Jamie hadn't have been standing there, he probably would have ignored her. But the fact that Jamie came and stood right next to her, he was like, "Yeah, I'm Jennifer Fraser. What's going on?" He was like, "Oh, Jennifer." You saw his demeanor change.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Fig looking at him like this
So
stupid
you
little
about to
white boy.
come. You about to come help. And then the happy moments is, okay, we got Lafayette. But then in my head, I'm like, but that's not my Lafayette though. But okay,
That
sure,
ain't
I'll go with it.
David.
Right. I was like, well, I guess I have to go with it. But Claire was like, she's like that person who goes and be around the stars and be like, oh, this is so cool. This
But
is
I
so
need
cool.
Claire to stop because that's the second time that she has said something to George Washington that her as a regular person should not know. Because way back in season, what was that, season 3 or season 4, when they
What'd
were
she
at the
say?
theater, she said something to him about him cutting down the cherry trees when he was little. And he was like, yeah, how did you do that? Because that's not a fact that no one would really know about him yet
Right.
because he's not President George Washington. And then
Right.
in this one, is it true that you originally considered a six-pointed star? Excuse me, Claire, you
Stop.
got like Roger with the faces.
Yeah, she is with her questions.
Oh my
Her
God.
question. But I feel like that when she talking about her family, I don't need you to say where you from, man, because he may know someone there actually. Currently, family could
Well,
still be there,
Well,
but it worked
remember,
in
she
favor.
said that it was distant family. She had never met them before. That's what she told Colum in season 1. She said, yes, they're distant family from some branch, I guess through marriage or whatever. She was like, but I haven't met them. So she would
But
have been
this
a
time
little,
she act like it was current, and he could currently have a cousin there. That's what I'm saying. I need you not to talk and stuff. But she was fanboy. That's what she was, a big fanboy this episode.
yeah, yeah. But I need her to stop because she's gonna get in trouble. Like
Yeah.
even when the Marquis de Lafayette said his name, her face changed. She was like, "Oh, like she
Oh.
knew him." And you saw how he took to her. That dude was crushing on Claire. He was like, "Pardon me, Moncour. You calling her the same thing Frenchie calling Kimiko in The Boys. Wait a minute. How you gonna call her your heart and her husband sitting right across from you? Let me tell you what happened to the last dude that fucked with his wife."
Clearly, and that was his friend.
Like, I
That was his
understand
friend.
you the man, Marquis, but that's not what you want to mess with. You don't want none of Jamie Fraser. Your eye gonna be looking this way and then that way.
Oh, that was so horrible. That was so horrible. That was so horrible.
Oh, and then the funny thing, the Marquis, why in the world is he force feeding these jellied eels on Claire? Did you see Jamie looking at Claire like, you gotta eat that, not me? Oh my God. This episode had a lot of funny moments.
It did.
Had a lot of serious moments too, but it had a lot of funny moments.
It did.
I will say the thing for me was at the very beginning of the episode, you get a flashback of Lord John and his brother. Have I not been saying I wanted Hal to come back into the show? So even though it was a small snippet of him, that gives me hope that we will see him a little bit more, especially given what we find out about what's going on with Captain Richardson in
Oh
this episode.
yeah. I was like, that's horrible.
Yeah. But I mean,
So
we know
I'm
he was a
glad.
spy. And I
Yeah, but
kind
he didn't have to. He don't have to do that though. This is the second time
of,
he was about to do this.
but see,
I
I
mean, well, he's
wondered
doing
about
it now
that.
currently
Yeah, I wondered about that
with
because when
William.
he sent William in the swamp, it's like, why would he do that? And then when I think it was
With the
when,
message, but then something happened, so it didn't come to pass.
right, well, remember, the people that William was supposed to be looking for,
Mm-hmm.
that he was supposed to be giving the correspondence to, they were actually rebels, but they had moved on. So I think those are the people that were supposed to kill him the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, he got some kind of look
he
because
does, and he got luck now when the stepbrother gonna bring him, bring Lord John the news. And I'm glad he was like, "Well, you can release me. Well,
yeah,
yeah, well, go
how do you
save our
mean?
son."
Go save our
Yeah,
son. Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
the smart
that's what
thing
I'm
to
gonna
do.
do because I raised this little sucker.
Right.
He was a baby.
Right. And I kind of feel like, Jamie is in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to that, because I understand he has 300 souls under his command. He
I
can't
get it.
leave for just one. But I feel like Lord John, if given the same option, probably because he's closer to William, he's actually raised William
Mm-hmm.
since childhood. I think Lord John would be like, fuck the army, let me go save my son.
Right, because if that was Brianna,
Oh,
what you gonna do? What you
absolutely.
gonna do?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Right. And
Absolutely.
guess what Claire would be saying to you? Leave them. They'll be all right. We won the war. They don't need you. Save our child.
But you don't know if anybody in that little
I know.
platoon
I
is
know. I know.
important.
But remember, we shouldn't be changing anything
I know. I know.
because he should have been dead anyway a long time ago, Jamie. So
So as
I'm
far
just
as we
saying.
know, but maybe Jamie was never supposed to be
Right.
dead. So who knows? But okay, so let's talk about the stepbrother a little bit more.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I seriously wanted to be like, can we get like a spinoff right now? Because
So apparently,
I want to know what is happening.
so I know that they've talked about doing a Lord John series before, and I think before the pandemic or right around the pandemic, they kind of squashed it.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you remember around the pandemic, I don't know if you remember this or not, Lord David Berry had actually put out an announcement saying that he wasn't coming back to Outlander because he didn't think there was anything else for his character to do, because with the pandemic and everything, we didn't know what was going to be
Mm-hmm.
happening. And then, of course, we got him back. Yay, he's here. We're getting all the good, juicy parts of the story, or we're about
We
to get
are.
all the good, juicy parts of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But um, in interviews that I've been watching over the last couple of weeks, he's actually mentioned the Lord John Gray series several times, saying that he is interested
Oh.
in doing it. He was like, if they find a way to do it, I'm in. He was like, I will gladly do it. I will gladly, because I love this character. And I think I even read an interview where Diana said that it's been brought up before, so we don't know. That's,
Okay.
that's hope, because I really would love to see a Lord John series, but also we got the books. We got the books.
We
Oh
do.
yes, and
We do.
you have a book, because I found one of the Lord John books
Yes.
in the Goodwill for you, because I already have it. And I was like, I said, do I have this
Yeah.
one? I saw it. I said, oh, I know who can have it. Michelle. So
Yes.
I have the book.
Because I guess I was so mad at Jamie. I was so in love with Lord John Gray this episode. So
Well, I mean, he's hard not to like.
I mean,
Just
no, and
because
he was. I liked him and all, but I don't know. I have the feels for him the last since he got beat
oh,
up,
is he your adult Ian? Like he's the grown up Ian for you.
and I
Okay.
feel like he should have a little bit more respect. I'm just saying, but
Well, this
it's
is
okay.
true.
It's
This is
okay.
true.
But yeah, that scene was I said, well, this
It
is
was
quite
very
juicy.
charged, because from the moment he walks in and Lord John hears his voice, he turns around. You could feel it.
Yeah,
Claire was looking
I was like, what is about to happen here?
like, do y'all know? And of course, now since I'm in the know, I've been waiting. So when the Marquis introduced him,
Oh,
I
so
was like,
you knew right then and there.
yes. I
Okay,
said, oh wait,
yeah,
this is about to get really juicy.
yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, she picked up on it, and even
Mm-hmm.
in the conversation with Jamie when he's telling them about William and everything, and he was like, yeah, the last time I saw him was 20 years ago in France when I helped him escape and helped him be presumed dead, blah blah blah. And Claire's looking like, and then he said, well, he is my stepbrother. And Claire was like, okay, whatever.
Oh,
If that's
okay. That's
if
what you
that's
want
what
to
you're gonna
say.
go
I mean,
with,
if
then that's what we're gonna go with.
that's what we
But
gonna do,
Claire ain't
sure.
stupid, especially if you think about it. The conversations that she and him have had, and this was even before the whole thing with Jamie being presumed dead, when she was treating him for the measles, and he was talking about they were talking about love and relationships, and how he wasn't free to love who he wanted to love. And I think in the bed, when after their morning after, she asked him if he had ever loved anyone like that, and he was like, yes. Oh, I think she peeped that. She was like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting story, because the way, even though they have changed a lot from the books, I will say there are whole patches of things that they have kind of taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think at this point in the story, with where it seems like they're going now, especially with the Jane and Fanny stuff, I think at that point in the books, if I'm not mistaken, I've only read those once, and I kind of read through them fast, but I think they were in Savannah at that point. So they had made their way back down the coast, because they were trying to get back to Fraser's Ridge. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that they have changed. Like, I don't think they would still be in Philadelphia. Well, of course they got to be for the battle, but some of
Mm-hmm.
the events I think are being uh out of place, which is cool, because it's not really throwing anything off. It's just making me kind of remember, like, okay, so this should be coming up, this should be coming up. And then of course, because we don't have Ferguson Marcelly, I'm having to remove all of that information from my brain, because that's probably going to
Yeah, because
change
it's not.
next
Yeah, not the
season,
same.
because we know
Mm-hmm.
they're coming back next season. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, the Percy thing is going to be very interesting, especially because, one, he's a rebel. Two, he's not who he say he is. Three, because of his connection to Lord John, because now this means that Lord John is like intimately connected to not one but two rebels.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's going to cause him some issues politically, because people already know that he and Jamie are friends. Like, they've made it known, okay, yes, we're friends, but we're on opposite sides of the war. So they kind of keep their distance, which is good. But if the truth about who Percy is ever gets out, that could ruin Lord John, especially if he
Mhm.
helped him in the way that he said he did. If that becomes public knowledge, that's going to be a problem for him.
It
So
is.
having him there is going to be kind of, Lord John's going to be on a slippery slope for a minute. So, but the other interesting people who showed up for this dinner, first of all, the fact that Claire and Jamie keep getting in the midst, in the circle of all these famous people, Brianna would be losing her shit right now
Right.
if she was in the past. She'd be like, wait, I'm sitting at a table with George Washington. Like,
Because that's how Claire was. That's what I'm
but I
saying.
think, but you have to
Oh,
remember, before Brianna became an engineering student, she was a history major.
right. So they all would have been, they would have told on themselves. They would have
Jamie
told
probably
on
would have been looking
themselves.
at them like, if y'all shut the fuck up, like
Right.
we have no time for witch trials
Because
right
then
now.
sometimes some of the things you say was like, did they say that? Or did you just implant that in their head and then they later go and say things to people?
Right,
So you got to be
right.
careful. Yeah.
You got to be careful. Okay, so the other interesting person, that damn General Lee. Now, I only know of General Lee because of Hamilton, but I didn't like him in Hamilton. I don't like him in this. You can tell he got a chip on his shoulder. You can tell he got an attitude, and you can tell everybody else at the table is just about done with him
Yeah.
because the
But it's
Marquis was
funny.
about to go off.
But it's funny because that is when Claire said, well, he ain't really that important.
Right? She was like, "I don't. I've never heard of him." So that
And
kind of let
I start laughing. I'm like, yeah,
why you sitting here thinking that you should have been put in command because you have more experience,
right.
and the only reason why people know your name is because of a damn musical. Meanwhile, George Washington, the inexperienced person, ended up becoming president, the first president of the United
Yeah.
States. So that was funny, but I was like, oh, I do not like this dude. I don't like him.
Mm-mm.
You could tell Jamie didn't like him when he came and he was like, yeah, so your battalion will be under my command. So let's go talk about it. Jamie's like, okay.
You're like, that's okay.
Right. But everybody else is kind of looking at him like, dude, we don't have time for you. But we'll see how he plays out in this because we already know what happens. History tells us what happens
Yeah, we
with
know.
him and the battle. So yeah, I'm just waiting to
He
see how
was in
that's
the
gonna
room
happen.
when it happened. That's we
Mm,
know for sure.
right, right. Okay, so let's move on to one other thing before we get to the other big thing, since they weren't on the screen very often. How you feel about Miss Rachel having her hair down again in this episode?
You already know I love their scene. So I love Miss Rachel. I just love, their connection and how they just their communication and
Mm-hmm.
they just great on film. Even though I'm feeling the same with William and what's her name?
Jane.
Jane. I feel the same way. I'm like, can he marry her and just, just don't tell people what she used to do? I mean, and I know they don't get together, but I like it. I like it for him. I feel like that's what he needs in a woman.
I really, I really
So
love this match, and even in the books, like I said, in the book she's a little bit younger, so it kind of makes sense that he's like once he starts like, I think the thing is once he has been with her, of course he was with her in the brothel. And I think William starts looking at her as a person and not just a whore in a whorehouse.
right.
And it
Hmm.
gets to a point where you start to see this tenderness develop, but also because of her age and because of the way that she grew up, he's really trying to distance himself because he doesn't want her thinking that, oh, I just want you for this, which is kind of the way she's coming across because
Right.
she's been in a brothel since she was 10 years
Right.
old. So she thinks that sex is the way to fix everything. And William is trying to tell her, no, that's not what I want you for. Like, even when she came in and she was like, I'm trying to do you a kindness. He was like, I don't want it if you're doing me a kindness, you know?
Right.
And she
And
was
I
like,
like how he told her because the other time we did it, you did it
you
because you
wanted
wanted
it.
it.
Yeah,
You
you
wanted
wanted
it.
it.
You don't know what I want, girl. You want it too. He can tell the difference.
Mhm. And he doesn't want it if it's just for like
Yeah,
payments
yeah,
or
he wants that connection with her, but I like their relationship. So it was nice seeing the young people.
yeah. This is the thing that I really like about what Fanny is bringing in. I mean, excuse me, not Fanny,
Mhm.
Jane, but also Fanny as well, bringing into his life. So as we see, William has a huge chip on his shoulder. And even in this episode, he's still salty about the fact that Jamie is his dad. He's salty about the fact that a groom was his dad and not Lord Ellesmere. So he has that very classist attitude, like, oh, you are beneath me. And I love the fact that Jane is kind of making him question that, because
Mhm.
of course everyone, especially in that time, okay, she's a whore in a whorehouse. She has no value. I mean, she even says as much. She was like, look, I've never had money. I don't know how to buy stuff with money. She was like, why would I've been in a whorehouse since I was 10 years old. The person who was over the whorehouse, she takes care of everything. She keeps all my wages for my care.
Mhm.
And it's something so foreign to William, because he takes for granted, like, you don't know how to count money.
She's like,
And I
"Mm,
think it's really, I think it's going to help him kind of in his reconciliation towards Jamie being his father.
yeah, I think so too. To understand that things are not for him, things are so like cut and dry, so
Mm-hmm.
black and white, and there's so many grays, and people do things for so many different reasons, and sometimes
Right.
they don't want to do stuff because of what is happening, but that's the choices that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll start realizing like Jamie didn't have a choice in the matter,
Yeah,
and
and not just in that, but in a lot of things, because
things.
the confession that we get from Jane about Captain Harkness, the fact that her little sister Fanny, who, let me tell you, you are going to fall in love with that kid. Because even in the books, I'm like, if anybody touches Fanny, I'm gonna come through the pages of this book and I'm gonna whoop some ass. Like, you love this character, and she is so well cast in this, like
Mhm.
so well cast. But when you find out what happens, that Captain Harkness came back to the brothel, and not only was he intent on just buggering whoever, he was going for Fanny. He was going to try to take
Mhm.
her maidenhead, and not just in the regular way, because he's a bit of a sadist. She kills him to protect her sister, and they're on the run. So even with that confession, when William is listening to what she's saying, for any other man in that time period, they would listen to it and probably not be phased by it. I mean, if you think about what happened in the village when that other soldier killed that woman who had, what was it? She had the pox or something. And
Mhm.
William was the only person who kind of stepped up to try to defend her, to try to save her. Most of the men would listen to Fanny's story about what Harkness was going to do, and they're going to be like, well, you work in a whorehouse, that's what you're supposed to expect.
Right.
But
Mhm.
William, the whole time she was talking to him, you could see his facial expression. You could see how disgusted he was. You could see how pissed he was. And I think if Harkness had still been alive, William probably would have went to look for him. But of course, he's not. And Jane had to take care of him. And she was like, okay, so are you going to turn me into the magistrate? And he was like, no, I wouldn't do that. And she says, why not? He was like, I don't know, but I wouldn't do that. I think, again, she's going to make him question certain things, because the
Mhm.
fact that the limited information that you have about James Fraser is that he's a traitor. Excuse me. Is that he's a traitor, he's a rebel, and he was a groom that you knew growing up. That's it. And you're basing all of your animosity on this fact, plus the fact that you have now found out that he sired you. But
Right.
Jamie, in a lot of his circumstances, didn't have a choice either. He had to do what
Right.
he had to do to save other people. And I'm waiting for
And then
somebody to
everything.
tell him that Jamie was not just a groom, he was actually the laird of a whole estate before
Right.
the English came in and wiped out the Highland culture.
And everything that he does, he's an honorable man, like your father. So you have to you need to see that.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
So,
it's understandable that he hasn't seen it yet because he hasn't really
oh
been
no, I'm just
around
saying this
her.
will get him to open his eyes because then you can see the things in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may be a traitor, but have you paid attention how I protect everyone who is around me and I
Mm-hmm.
stand with honor while some of these other people are just all over the place?
Right. Right. Right.
You
So
know, and not judge me from like even with Jane, she doesn't want you to judge her because she worked at a whorehouse. That's not
mhm.
who she is.
Right.
So
I
I think
mean,
it will help him.
she in her mind that's what she is, but he's trying to
She
get her to
is
see
well right to see that it's different.
that
And
she
she
that's
will
not her only
soon
worth. Yeah. So
yeah, and she will soon realize that too.
yeah.
Honey, you gotta learn how to wash some clothes. What do you think you gonna do? You
Well,
can't cook.
no, but she really thought she was gonna sleep her way through the camp. I mean, she
No,
said
no,
much
no,
when
ma'am.
she
We're
got
not gonna
there.
do that. We're not gonna
Right.
do that. We're gonna
Especially
wash
if
some
you coming
clothes.
to me for protection,
Right.
but you
I'm
gonna
not
go
gonna
lay up under the no, absolutely not. We're not gonna
I'm
do
not
that.
gonna be your pimp.
Right. So I think the pairing is very good for him. I
I
don't
like it.
know if it will progress because I feel like he's too much of a gentleman to take advantage of the situation. And even though she's obviously hot and heavy for him, he's not going to take advantage of that situation. You
No,
know,
but I like them together.
I
So
do. I do. Because
so
you
now
see
if he ends up with someone
softness.
else, I don't even know. I don't even know how to. I don't even know what
You
to do.
you see the softness come out of him with her. And
So I'm gonna ask a question later after this episode.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not telling
You're going
you.
to tell me. I
I'm
just
not
need the yes
telling
or
you
no.
nothing. I'm not no because I think you'll get some more information in the next two episodes. If the story is going where I think it's gonna go, then you'll get some more information in the next two episodes. They might even give some of Jane's backstory because we do learn a little bit of their backstory in the book, you know, as far as like how they got
Okay, so in my brain I can only okay, I'll tell you what I can imagine
mm-hmm.
will happen. I won't
Oh,
say it.
you're gonna
I'll
okay,
just
you're
tell
gonna tell
you.
me later.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm not telling you nothing. So anyway, um, let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, let's talk about Rambo Bree.
I love it when I was like, but honey, you know how to shoot for real. She know how to shoot. She really know how to shoot.
Oh
I
yeah, she
don't know how she
does.
motherfucking missed because she know
She
how
was
to shoot.
missing on purpose.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
hoping so, but you know I can see
Because
that because you kind of scared them
you
and
don't want
stuff.
to commit murder in front of your children.
No, you don't, because I'm like, girl, you really you are a sniper.
Right.
So a
So when
shotgun,
she missed, I
right?
was like, yeah, I
But
said
I
she's
love
giving
it though,
y'all a
because she pulled
warning.
that out. She came out of those woods
She was like, I'm
and
warning
was
y'all.
shooting
Y'all
shooting
fucking
at the
with the
door.
wrong mama bear.
She was.
But let me ask you a question. And this is going to be a little bit spoilery for something that might come up later on. So you notice when she's sitting there, she's fighting the guy who's trying to get into the van and she punches him in the face.
Right.
She partially takes his mask off. And then when he falls to the ground, you can see a little bit of his face. Did he look familiar to you?
No, and the other one did neither. And I'm like, I'm supposed to know this. No, because I looked at their faces and I was like, she told me I should know, and I'm like, I don't know.
You want me to tell you now? You want me to tell you after?
Okay, not the one that full, the one who still have his mask on.
No, the one who has his mask off. When Rob Cameron got there, he turned around, he called Cal.
Right, and his whole mask is off.
Yes.
I don't remember that guy. Where is he from? Where is he from?
So
Where is
this
he
is
from?
spoilery just in case
It
anybody
don't have
is
to be spoiled
listening.
because
No, it's
he has he been in
spoilery.
other episodes,
He's in this episode.
so we should know. Hold on, hold on. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Who could it
Spoiler
be?
alert. If you don't
Okay,
want to be spoiled, you're gonna skip the
please.
next maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's my choices here. He was in this episode,
Mm-hmm.
Is it stepbrother?
Nope.
Okay. Who else was it?
He does wear a wig though.
It's not the one of the ones people at the George Washington table, is it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It ain't one that William went to their camp.
You're close.
So it was at the camp.
Nope.
Is it Richardson?
Nope.
Huh?
Yep.
Oh, well, how did Richardson become a traveler?
So that's the thing. Even in the books, we don't know yet. We do not. We do find out in the books that he is a traveler. It's I think it's in the last book, Go Tell the Bees. But we do find out that he is a traveler. We find out why he's back in the past. Um, but it's interesting because here I think the way that they did it in this particular episode, because we've never seen his character in the 1980s up until now. So I think when Rob Cameron called his name Callahan, that was to let book readers know, okay, this is who this is supposed to be. Because in the books, Mike Callahan is a what is he? Architect or something, but he comes out because on Lallybrock's property there is
Mm-hmm.
a structure that Roger and Brianna are trying to figure out what it is, and it turns out it's an old church that was built on the grounds. So Mike Callahan is a architect, I think, and he comes out and kind of looks at it. He specializes in old 17th and 18th century buildings, and he comes out and he looks at it, he tells them what it is, and like develops a really really nice rapport with them. So when it's revealed that he's one of Rob Cameron's cronies in the book, I'm looking at the book and I'm cussing this man out like I knew him. So I think that was to let the book readers know, okay, yes, this is him. So now we got to try and figure out, okay, so why is he in the past, or why is he in the future? Because we don't know, he may have been in the past and jumped to the future, we don't know. um and why is he so focused on the Gray family, you know, focusing on them as far as trying to discredit Hal, trying to discredit Lord John, using William as political pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that opens up a whole lot of other questions, but it was just so interesting because when you see his face and he does this and he looks up, you can, if you really pay attention to his face, because they don't show his whole face on purpose. And I think it's for the,
Okay, so to me, I feel like I saw his whole face, but I was like, I can't picture
you
who
see it, but it's
this
kind of at an
is.
angle. So it's like you're looking at
And
it like this. And if you're really not, because I'm looking at it right now.
and the thing about it is also like Richardson been in he hadn't been on camera a lot.
Right.
So you have his face like memorized. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about him, but
Mm-hmm.
not on camera a lot.
But it's so funny
So
because
that's on purpose because
yeah,
then
but
you wouldn't put them together.
right, which is crazy because in this episode, like the face is the same. His hair is even almost the same color, except for in the past, he has it in the little wig with the curly cues at the
Uh-huh.
end. And in this one, his hair is short and it's sticking up at the end because he literally just
Have a
had
mask on.
the
Mm-hmm.
mask on. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I was like, I'm waiting for Michelle to text me. I'm waiting for her to text me. And when you didn't text me, I said she didn't see it. She didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, okay, she gonna have to tell me because I really don't know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
really
that's
don't
going to
know
be
who this is.
interesting to see what they do with him in this story and how that's going to move forward. It just,
Yeah, and how he ends up with it is quite interesting
yeah,
how that connection.
right. Because my
It's still
thinking,
making me wreck my brain on that one. So I'm like, okay, that ain't the person I would think it would be. Okay.
yeah, because it really
Mm.
does make you think now, like, okay, so in the past, does he know about, like, did he come from the future and go back to the past and he knows like who Jamie is? Does he know who William is? Like, as far as his relation to Bree, or did he go from the past to the future? So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, we're gonna have to figure it out.
Hmm.
We're gonna have to figure it out. But I just thought it was very interesting that they did put him in there, and then it's like literally in the same episode. But if you don't know it, like if I hadn't have read the books and knew that's who it was, I don't think I would have caught it either. I probably would have looked at him like, wow, his face looks familiar. But it probably would have taken me several times to watch the episode before I got it. But I think they did it. I think they did it really clever. But yeah, Mama Bear Brie, don't fuck with her. But she's talking about going to Roger, which is gonna be a problem because Roger ain't where she think he is. So I, they're gonna have to figure something out. Roger
Well,
needs to
I
hurry.
know.
He needs
I
to
mean,
hurry up and come back.
I didn't see a preview, but I saw a picture from when the episode went off on Stars, and they had like, oh, the next episode. I just know that the next episode does have Roger in it,
It does. Mm-hmm.
so I know I'll get a little bit more information.
Yeah, but he needs to go ahead because she doesn't know where he is, but he knows exactly where she is. So he needs to hurry up and traipse his ass back through the stones before she
The
decides.
thing about it is, he could come home and be like, "This is what I found. Let me go out again, checking in." So, like, come back and check in.
Yeah, but you got to remember they don't know how often you can go through and what it does to your body and everything.
We don't have time for that. Our
I
kids
know,
been kidnapped, so you got to do what you got to do.
I know.
But you should check in because you don't know if your son went back through the stones and he knew his way back and
That's
had a stone. So
but
you would like to
also in
go
the
home and
last
just to
episode, he
check in.
said that he didn't think Jimmy came through the stones. He
So we
said,
need to go home.
yeah, yeah. So, question. Maybe it's just me. Lieutenant Bixby. Does he look like the same dude that was standing next to William and got shot in the head? Sandy. Does that look like the same person, the same actor? Because I was like, didn't I just see you die a few episodes ago?
No, but I have to look again.
I feel like it's the same actor, but when I went to go look it up at IMDb,
Yeah, they
I
shouldn't
couldn't
be.
find
I'm about to say
anything.
that would be a
I mean, it
huge
wouldn't be the first
mistake.
time they've used an actor in different roles because they've done it before, but it wasn't anybody I think that was like really, really prominent. Like they had an actor that played a named part, but then they came back and they did like a background part or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, but it's just so strange to me because I'm like, he looks exactly like him, but I haven't had a chance to go back at that other episode and look. So, but yeah, this episode, whew, if you think there was a lot going on in this one, just wait till the next one. I'm ready. I'm ready whenever you are to talk about the next episode because you're gonna have a lot to say. I was sitting there watching that episode like,
Okay.
yeah, but um, did we miss anything? I think we got
Mm-mm.
it. We got Lord John, we got the stepbrother, we got the dinner, we got Ian and Rachel, we got
And we have Jamie and not really caring about
and
his friends.
we're not gonna we're gonna give him until next episode, see how he does. Cause when the man goes and he saves your son, there's gotta be a little forgiveness in that. Just a little bit. If not, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay,
Yeah,
Claire, I'm gonna need you to handle that. Tell Jamie he's being unreasonable, get in his ass and tell him to go kiss and make up. Cause damn.
right. But maybe he will when he brings home his son. Like, go get our son,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Right.
Well, you glad was found. Because who's gonna go get our son? I feel so
Right.
bad for William. William, you know what? I really do. I'm at this point. I'm like, he's like naive, and y'all keep throwing him in situations, and now he about to be captured and maybe tortured until y'all get there.
Right.
Poor William.
I know. I know. Y'all didn't bring him up for this cruel, cruel world.
Right? You didn't.
Look, in that case, he needed Jamie as his daddy.
Because you can't, because it's always an issue. So you got to
Right.
learn how to survive.
Yes. There's only so many things that you can learn from privilege. And
Yeah,
survival in the woods when a
right.
group of Hessians have been told to kill you is not one of them.
So friendly. You want to stay for coffee? Yay! Well, you should also stay for dinner.
Because he's thinking these are his allies.
Yeah,
So,
they are not for him.
no. Claire,
So,
I will say this too. Claire is so funny when she was like, well, um, Percy was right about one thing. Richardson is a spy and a turncoat. He told me as much at dinner. And Lord John was like, and you didn't say anything to me. She said, well, we kind of are on the same side.
I
And I think
just
they
said I
were
wouldn't
having that
spy on you.
they had that conversation about the dinner, and Jamie is just looking at them like, okay, how long am I going to let this conversation go on? Okay, that's enough. I got 300 million under my control. He
No,
was like, enough of this. Enough of y'all talking about the time when I wasn't here, because that's going to lead to other conversations, and we don't need them
whatever.
right now.
He's already got damaged. So, okay.
I'm telling you, that eye was so disgusting looking. I was
It
just
wasn't
looking at,
moving because even when he turned to look at Jamie, like the eye was in, like because he was turning to look at Jamie, that other eye was straight at the camera.
you can see
Like
how Jamie
it
was
ain't
looking
moving.
like, oh, that's what I did.
Like it ain't even
Like,
moving.
oops, didn't mean it. Well, yes, I did, but I didn't. That's okay.
Ooh,
They gonna get it
is she
together.
putting, is she
They gonna
putting
get it
honey? I'm
together.
like, that ain't gonna be sticky. Shit.
I know, right? And she was like, it's gonna help the eyeball move. And reading it in the books when he's talking about it, I was just like,
Oh
it
no.
just,
Oh
yeah, that
gosh,
just
no.
seems sticky. But okay. So the takeaways from this episode are Jamie needs to grow up.
Yeah.
Needs to William needs to take the rose-colored glasses off. Um, Fanny is the sweetest thing alive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jane is, let me tell you, for
Jane.
someone who seems to be so, and I don't even want to, I don't know, even want to say spoiled, because that's not the word I'm looking for. Someone who is so jaded, that's the word I'm looking for. For someone who is so jaded, she still seems to have a bit of innocence about her that I like.
Yeah.
And not necessarily, maybe not even innocence, a little bit of naivete, but just, I don't know, there's something I feel like that's wholesome about her despite her upbringing and what she's had to go through. And you can really see it with her sister. And I love it, because she was like, okay, yeah, you can do whatever you want to me, but oh, you want to try and touch my sister? Now I'm about to put a knife in your neck.
Yeah. We're not gonna do that.
Right. But
So
did you see the way William looked when she said, um, nobody thought, nobody had a second thought when Fanny started screaming, knowing what Harkness was up to. William was like, God, like,
right.
how? And that's the
Yeah.
question I have with stuff like that. I mean, I understand the girls who are in the house, they're probably used to it because, again, she's been there since she was 10. Ain't no telling how long some of the other girls have been there, and this is what you're used to. But the fact that a woman of all people was the one who was sitting there pimping the girls, I just, I have a problem with that. But a whole other time, 200 years ago, I'm glad I
Yeah.
ain't living those times, because I might be like
So
thing stabbing folks in the neck. So
next, the newlyweds are newly wedding.
they are, and they're being so sweet about it. And I love the fact that Ian was like, he felt his dad's presence with him. He said, I thought he was telling me that I was gonna die on the battlefield, but then you walked in the door, and I take that as a very good sign. Because literally, as soon as he said, have you come to give me bad news? Rachel walks through the door. I was like, no, he's telling you you're gonna be all right.
Right. I was like, we're not doing that.
No,
We were done with that.
right.
With bad news. No, no, sir.
We've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
Had enough. So now I just need Brianna to, like I said, if she's gonna go find Roger, I'm gonna need her to figure something out, or I need Roger to get back before she goes through the stones. And then when he comes back, maybe he can kick Rob Cameron's ass once or twice.
Oh,
And
I want
then
her to do it. Like, get that damn shotgun, start shooting off toes and stuff. Torture. I mean, pack your kids somewhere. I need you to, cause she know how to do it.
I know we know she knows how to do it. Do you know who her father
I
is?
know, cause that's how she was when she was in the woods like a snake with a shotgun. And then that van come up, she jumping out of there and start shooting at the door and shooting at them
Because
to
she
get
knew
to the
she was
van.
like, why are y'all coming back here? And then when Fiona was like, that Rob guy showed up at our house, how the hell you know where you stay at? So Rob Cameron been doing some digging.
They have research. So they have
Oh, I
researched.
know. And he
Yeah.
probably knows Roger used to work at the I
Yeah.
mean, used to live
Mm-hmm.
at the um the Reverend's old house, and that's where Fiona stays now. So he probably was checking, like, okay, well, where would she take the kids?
Well, yeah, where would she take the kids? And they don't have any other family.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
But yeah, but that's very condensed from the books, because in the books, like, she done called the police. Jim and Rob Cameron's face them been on the news, like everything. Like it was huge. So yeah.
And America's Most Wanted. Adam's missing. Rob should be on the news.
Yeah.
Jim should be on the milk carton. Come on now, this is what the time period is.
Yeah. But it's also kind of hard when you're telling people your husband's in Boston, but you
Yeah,
can't
that's
get
true
but you
too.
can't get hold
But you
of
can't
them.
get hold of him. There ain't no phone to call him. He calls you.
Yeah. Like
I'm
even
like,
Ernie. Ernie was like, yeah, I know Roger's in Boston, but maybe it's time for you to take a trip. Ernie is like, look, I was signing my family up for danger was not on my bingo card today. I need you and your kids to go somewhere. So, because Ernie don't look like he can handle too much. Fiona can, but Ernie, yeah, Ernie is that straight vanilla. I don't know nothing about no fairies. I don't know nothing about no standing stones. Nothing. What is going on? Why is this man after your children? I need you to go find your husband, because I'm done. He can't look. He can't even figure out what's wrong with the engine of his car. Got Brianna out there with Fiona and the flashlight while he in the car. Ernie, you ain't good for me.
she's like, try it now. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. So I don't need Roger to come saving the day. Brianna got this.
Yeah,
She got it.
but I will say
They
this:
need
that
to die. I'm sorry. No,
no, I get
they
it. I
don't.
get it. I
They
get
need to
it.
be arrested.
What is that gonna do? Did you see the police officers that came to
No, they really
get
don't
her?
care. They don't.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
they are
Mm-mm.
incompetent. So yeah, we're not gonna leave this up to the police. They gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure it out. But do you realize we only have two more episodes before we're in another Droughtlander? How
Wow.
did it go by
That
so
went,
fast?
it did. It did. And they gave a lot of information. So I don't even know how they're going to do the next season, which they're done filming. So, okay, what month is it? January. Okay,
This
so
is January.
hopefully
I
August.
I'm gonna be honest,
You don't think
because
it's till 26?
I think if we get it, we might get it either November, December, or we'll get it in January, February.
Okay.
Because I think I have heard that they are planning to release Blood of My Blood in between season 7 and season 8.
Okay.
So,
Well, this season's about to end before February, so
yeah.
the other show can come on in March, and we still need something in November.
I think they're still doing post production because they just finished filming in, like, I think October or November, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
but my other show, Stranger Things, which has CGI, is going to be later on this summer. So of course, Outlander, hello, it ain't much CGI, should be able to come back too
Yeah.
same time. Okay, they
Okay.
both finished wrapping up.
Okay. Okay. We got you. We got you.
So what we waiting on?
I know. But here's the interesting thing about Blood of My Blood, and somehow I missed this information when they announced it and when it cast. It's not only dealing with Jamie's parents, we are getting Claire's parents as well.
Yeah, because on one of the pictures that you even sent me has both who's playing who.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It like completely slipped my mind because I was
Oh,
looking at
okay.
the name because I don't think we ever find out Claire's parents' names in the book. At least not that I can recall. So seeing the names, it just kind of went over
I
my
guess I
head.
figured that because of the how they had them both like side by side. I was
Mm,
thinking his parents, her parents.
yeah. So that's going to be interesting because we
Hmm.
don't know a lot about Claire's family or background except for Uncle Lamb.
Right, and that's why I was figure we'll figure out that they were travelers and that before they get trapped in the stones.
That it could be.
Hmm.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else to say about this episode? And please, anything other than Jamie need to get a grip.
No, that's it.
Okay, so we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that Jamie, shall we say, before the end of the season, or I mean, it's only two more episodes, so either next episode or the episode after that, we gonna hope that Jamie comes to his senses. And even if they're not friends again, we just need a truce. We just need it to be some peace because y'all got other stuff y'all got to worry about. Y'all got
Hmm.
y'all got a battle coming up, and you got a son who's confused and angry and dealing with his own stuff that y'all need to kind of rally together and help, resolve. So let's hope that that gets fixed before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yep. That's it.
All right. So, on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.